and welcome to the Main Event Sports Show. This is your host, Haven Harrington, joined in studio by, everybody made it today. I'm excited to see everybody. Got my man Rashawn over here, quadruple A, the architect.
No, that would be you.
Engineer, my bad. Ill Will, and the rappy one himself, the Imperial, Real Rail.
What's good? What's good?
Man, look at you looking all serious, man. You're focused. You ready?
Hey, man, it's about business, man. If you ain't doing it the right way, don't do it at all.
There you go.
As long as you ain't got the top button on that button-down button, we're good.
Hey, listen, man.
There it is.
Hey, listen, man.
Let's get started real.
I'm doing.
right.
Hey, look, I'm in Reverend mode today, right?
Who in the hell left the gate open?
I don't know, but I'm fitting to walk through it.
You guys crack me up, man. So first topic of the day,
Yes.
man, let's talk a little football, man. You know, football's about to kick off.
Week 0. We got football games coming up this weekend.
I know, right? Louisville kicks off September 6th in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, Georgia against Ole Miss running Rebels.
Very big game. Very big game.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm excited. I love the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. Prime time, Monday night, only game on, all eyes on you. Show up, show out.
Yeah, I saw that poster for the first time. The other day, somebody at work had one of them.
It's not the best poster.
No, it's not. It's like,
not the
okay,
best
so
poster.
you can put anything on this poster that you want, and this is all you came up with? Like,
Yeah.
nah, you know, it's all good. Listen, if Louisville, they're not playing Western this year, so if Louisville goes undefeated, I'm all for it. That's what I would love to see. But, I mean, you know.
Well, they got Clemson on the ride.
They do have Clemson. They do have Clemson.
On the schedule, so.
You know, they got them on the schedule.
So this first game, going against Lane Kiffin, offensive genius.
Hey, and
What particular
what?
group? What particular
Hey.
group are you guys looking at on this Louisville football team that you guys be paying attention to, that you're gonna be focused on for this first game? I'll throw it to you, Rod.
I mean, for me, there's a lot of places that are question marks for the team. I guess I'm going to go with the group that a lot of people have been talking about. Of course, Louisville lost a couple of guys, including Tutu Atwell and Des Fitzpatrick to the NFL. Both guys are making plays. Des had a touchdown last week for the Titans, and Tutu Atwell had the most targets of anybody in any game last week.
Wow.
For the Rams.
So no surprise, though.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about two very talented guys that were around the program for a good while, and there was no doubt about how talented they were. So I think that the wide receiver corps and seeing what they can do is going to be probably the thing that I'm looking at the most. Of course, friend of the Main Event Sports Show, Justin Marshall. Is a guy who's always shown us love, and we were on early. Has taken some time to kind of develop, but now, I hear his name first or second, when you talk about the guys that are going to be out there. I think that Justin Marshall is going to be a guy that I want to see how he looks. He had moments, he's had some, we talked about him as far as his physicality and his physical stature was very similar to that of Devontae Parker. And of course that's a taboo name right here because Devontae, a homegrown kid, now playing for the Miami Dolphins, is one of the best wide receivers in the league. I think that what he can do, stepping up, as well as Braden Smith, last year's JUCO transfer who came, it was making a lot of waves last year in pre-summer camp. I think he's going to be one, and then of course the speedster Tyler Harrell. We'll have to see what he does, but I think for me, fellas, like the wide receivers and giving Malik Cunningham guys that won't drop the football, because we've seen teams that best play in the world, quarterback makes the move, spins out of trouble, and then throw the ball, dude drops the ball.
They drop it. And my greatest concern, to your point, everything you made was some excellent point. All the points you made were excellent points, but everybody's concerned with the line this year, because just like you said,
offense or defensive.
Both. I mean, we've seen it. Neither one of them are where they need to be. And what improvements were made in the offseason to say that they're going to be any better this year. We just like we've seen quarterbacks make great moves to get a good pass off and it get dropped. We've also seen some quarterbacks literally go into a shell because they feel like as soon as they get a snap, they have to start running.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not being protected. There's no way you can be an effective quarterback when you're not protected in that pocket.
Yeah, I mean, you would think about it. You don't want Malik Cunningham running for his life.
You don't want that. And there are quarterbacks who have unfairly been scrutinized for that same exact thing. Oh, he's a terrible quarterback. No, he's an unprotected quarterback. And that, dude, you get yourself out there and have these linemen coming at you, you know, as soon as the ball touches your fingertips.
Lamar Jackson's last year.
Yeah, like you hype
Dave
and then you just dive and
Yeah.
you know, and just cover your head. Like, no, dude, that is it's an impossible thing to overcome.
Tim Couch's entire career at the Cleveland Browns.
You know, people underestimate that, and that's why you have people who reward their O-lines
Right.
when they have great seasons.
Definitely.
You know, a la Lamar Jackson in the NFL. You know, a la Emmitt Smith as a running back who knew my success is nothing without these gentlemen who are blocking for me.
There you go.
You know the root of your success.
That's why Nate Newton gets that extra turkey leg.
Right, you know
There you go.
the big piece of chicken. No, dude, you have to. So Louisville cannot keep looking at doing better without fixing their problems. What they're doing, they're patching things up. We need linemen.
You know what? I will piggyback off of that because the group I'm most concerned about, defensive line.
Okay.
I mean, Louisville's not good at all at
That
putting
run defense
pressure
is-
on the quarterback at all last year, getting pressure with the front four to get sacks. They didn't do a good job of that. That run defense was just,
Oh my gosh, the run defense.
the run defense is kind of horrendous. I mean, they kind of got ate up in the run
That
game
is
last
awful,
year.
man.
Yeah, no, and
And
just a
listen.
scary commentary on that, just so you guys know. Ole Miss led the SEC in rushing last year, even though they were known for their passing numbers. Led the SEC in rushing.
Now listen, to piggyback off that, my concern is completely the ability of the linebackers to be able to cover, the running backs coming out of the backfield for Ole Miss, and the secondary's ability to be able to cover the receivers, because they were fourth in passing last season.
Yeah.
So if Lane Kiffin has the ability to open it up and Louisville secondary cannot stop them,
Yikes.
cannot stop them from catching the passes, or they're not able to defend, because last year those safeties were atrocious.
We've been exposed, and teams are counting on that, counting
continue.
on violating those exposures and just exploiting all of those issues that we have, and we haven't brought anything to the table, and you know, anything leading up to the kickoff of the first game to convince people that we fixed those problems. So they are coming to these games.
Will.
They're walking into these games like we know exactly how to destroy them, not just beat them. We've already had we got the playbook.
Make
almost.
prime example of them, because this defense hasn't been strong since Charlie Strong.
Man, that's the truth.
Let's just be real about that. This hasn't been a strong defense since Charlie Strong. So this first
Grantham had a
game,
couple of good defenses.
Who was
that?
Todd Grantham.
Grantham.
He had a couple of good
His
defenses.
first couple years.
His first couple years, he had
They were
pretty
decent.
good defense.
But he
They-
was playing with
but-
Charlie Strong's guys.
But
that is
a
also
lot
true.
of things are being camouflaged by Lamar Jackson.
exactly.
The team was being held together by Lamar Jackson. He saved a lot of plays, and on the offense, of course, you can't count the defense.
Well, if you're saying that, Will, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Satterfield expects the same type of ability to carry the team from
Malik?
Malik Cunningham?
There's no way you can expect anybody to do what Lamar Jackson did, not in being in your right mind. That's because that is a once in a generation type of talent.
You know what? I would say this. I think Satterfield would want Malik to carry the team.
I mean, he would want it,
But,
yes.
but the thing is, as we saw last year, is that because Malik's tendency to get hurt literally almost every game, I don't think the coaching staff feels comfortable with calling the designated run plays and things of that nature they did when Malik started the first year Malik started. Because the first year Malik started, he was running the ball all the time. He was very dynamic.
He was baby Lamar.
He was a baby Lamar. But the
Exactly.
problem is, literally every game,
Yeah, that's
he
like-
would go out
yeah.
for like 3 or 4 plays
Right.
hurt. And I think last year, I think they tried to say, okay, stay in the pocket, don't run as much. And it did cause me run plays, and that cut down the dynamism that he has as a quarterback. And I
Okay.
think that reflected in
So do
Louisville's
you all
production.
feel like this game would determine the kind of season that Louisville's going to have?
Absolutely.
I don't think
yes.
so.
because it's going to determine the type of support they have from their fan base. Because listen, let's not act like we're coming off of a good season. Dude, the fans are already not getting in line behind this team, and maybe the diehard fans are always going to be there. Those are the people you don't even have to be concerned about. But to fill that stadium up, you need a lot of bandwagoners. That's where your money comes from. The diehard fans probably bought their season tickets 10 years out. That's not where your money's coming from. You want that car march going down, you need a lot of bandwagoners.
Haven, you said you disagree. Why?
Because it's Ole Miss. It's almost like exhibition bowl game. This first one out, and the first game of the season, unlike the NFL, don't have a preseason. This is the first time this guy's going to play. It's the first time they've seen live contact against another team. So you kind of expect those kinds of up and down things. And also, Louisville really isn't expected to do great things this year. So if you lose, if you win, it's awesome. You got momentum. You can keep it going. The media schedules. Can you beat NC State? Can he beat Virginia Tech? Can he beat those guys on the that you're playing against this year? That's the real test.
But Haven, also you got to realize this: if they lose, how much does that destroy the confidence that they had going into the season?
I don't think they destroy the confidence at all, because a lot of these guys are young. They're still getting acclimated to the system. This is their first big time college football game for a lot of these guys. They're going to be amped up. They're going to be juiced. If they take an L, I think they can get right back in it next game. I think they play UCF.
But Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky.
Well, when we come back from the break, because we're about to wrap this segment up, I want to get, because I have a very strong rebuttal to what these gentlemen just said.
It's about to get juicy,
But
y'all.
no. But I would like to hear what you say first, to maybe kind of tone me down a little bit. I'm ready to pounce because I just want to put some reality.
Go hard.
But we will. Trust me. Y'all have a lot left to see.
Y'all don't know that like kicks and punches get thrown during the break, and then we come back and everybody
Haven is
comes
still
back.
flirting
Like,
with me under the table. Y'all.
Welcome back.
As they used to say in the 80s, Haven's getting fresh with me under the table.
And there we go. Welcome back to Main Event Sports Show. Man, okay, now, Will, when we first left for this break, you was going to break it down to me about why I was wrong about the first game of the season for Ole Miss.
Well, but before doing so...
No. Don't let Rashawn water down.
Hold on. Let him get his in. Let him get his in. James got something to say.
James Evans.
James Ingram. And I got a new name for myself this week. I can't remember it, though, because last week I said I was Forrest Whitaker. But I can't remember what I got a
Forrest
new
Gump?
one. All right, so, no, Rod, seriously, what would you say in response to that? Do you agree, disagree?
I will say this, that I don't think it's going to be necessarily based on winning and losing, because Ole Miss is going to be coming to this game a top 25 team. So while you want Louisville to win this game, they are a decided underdog. They're about a 7-point underdog. So I think it's going to be more about
which isn't very bad.
Not bad.
That's
exactly.
Not bad.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be about how they play. If they go out there and get the doors blown off, then I think that's going to be a problem, and that's going to maybe set a bit of a narrative moving forward. There, Louisville fans are going to have to see Louisville come out and not only be impressive the next weekend versus the EKU, they're going to have to go out there and beat East Carolina or Central Florida. UCF, Central Florida.
I thought you said East Kentucky was the next game.
East Kentucky's the next game. No, they'd have to blow them out
and beat
UCF.
I see what you're saying. Which UCF is ranked, is what I'm being told?
No, UCF is not ranked. They are considered one of the better non-Power 5 schools, but they are still kind of in a building phase.
Got you. Okay.
But I think that it's going to be how they win. If they come and play close, I think Louisville fans will be happy with that. I don't think that they'll be ecstatic, but I think they'll be okay with that moving forward. But if they get their doors blown off, I think that changes the narrative.
Okay. So here's what I'm saying in response to that. First of all, fans, please, I accept your thank yous ahead of time. Because by setting the bar so low, if Louisville comes out and at least puts on a performance, it will make people feel very good about this team, to what Rocky said. But just being realistic, we have a lot of issues that are just so known. They're so known. A lot of these issues started to be brought to the surface in Petrino's last years.
Yeah.
See, they're so old. They're not new issues. So we've had time to fix some of these things. This is not just the first year that we're coming at these things trying to repair them.
Right.
Because, even in the Petrinos last year, even, Lamar's, even Lamar's last year. Some of these things a lot of teams started to figure Louisville out. And so we've had years, as many as 4 years, some people would say 5, to try to fix these things, and we haven't. So, again, our problems are just so known. Everybody knows about them. So they know how to come in here and beat Louisville. So an offensive mastermind, like you said, Lane Kiffin is, dude, he's going to exploit that to the depth. Because they need, mind you, they're top 25. They need to make a statement with this game. They don't need a close game. They need to blow the daylights out of Louisville to make a statement. And Louisville may not be a highly ranked team,
but they're still a name.
They're a name. Yep. And if they come out that first game and go green eggs and ham on Louisville,
so
it's going to mean something.
Let me ask you. Football teams lost about 70% of their practice time in terms of total preparation, summer weightlifting. They lost their whole spring and a lot of the fall camp. Okay, they basically got 3 weeks of catch up and then on the field playing games. How much do you put into that to where some of the question marks we saw last year may not have anything to do with this year, with the full off season, with the full spring? Do you think that makes a difference?
It makes a difference to us,
okay,
because we know better. But the average fan sitting in those bleachers, in those stands, and tuning in on TV doesn't know any of that.
That's fair.
And they don't care about any of that. Very few fans even care about X's and O's. They are just there to see wins.
The OGs on 29th and Broadway, all they ask me, big man, did they win today?
That's all they want to know. That's all they want to know. Half of them, they sitting there, they toasting it up, they got it. They're not even watching the game. But when that win comes across the screen, everybody goes nuts.
And they represent it.
They represent it to the depth.
That's fair.
Listen, the people tailgating in the parking lot that never goes into the game, they don't know what the team looks like.
That's true.
Unless they got a TV. I've seen some pretty extensive tailgating setups, dude. Trust me.
Yeah.
But to the point, that's not what they're there for. They're just there to back a winner and to have a good time. And nobody's having a good time when the team is losing.
That's right. Hey, Harris.
You know what?
Without the fan goggles.
Without the fan goggles.
That's what I'm giving y'all.
I can still say that first game, Louisville plays well, even in the loss, that's fine.
We all agree with that, I think. If they play
Nobody
well.
expects Louisville. What people really want to see is on the defensive line, are the 2 true freshmen, are they as good as what everybody's saying around practice? Because being good in practice and being good in live action are 2 totally different types of good.
Truthfully, this setup is very similar to the last time Louisville was in the Chick-fil-A Bowl when Lamar Jackson came in as a true freshman. And Louisville, brings Lamar out and just lets him run around like a baby deer out there, just running around with the football and doing reverses.
That was awesome when
but people were very excited about that, just seeing how good he was.
Yeah.
And to not to take anything away from Malik McCall Cunningham, it's
Give him all his names out there.
No. I was saying Malik or McCall, whichever one you were first. I didn't realize I put him in the right.
He went
order.
back to Malik.
He went back to Malik.
Yeah.
So McCall.
He said he's going to be Malik.
Which one is his middle name? McCall or Malik?
I think McCall is actually his first name.
So McCall Malik.
Yes.
Okay. So
Eminem.
But like you all earlier said, he's baby Lamar Jackson, and that is true. But just like Harold Miner was baby Jordan, and we see how that
allegedly
worked out for Harold Miner. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, being baby Jordan
is not Jordan.
Dude, it's not even close. It's a difference, dude. Lamar Jackson.
He was allegedly baby Jordan.
Right, but I will point out the third most rushing yards by a quarterback in a single game is held by Malik Cunningham with 198 yards rushing.
Against
and
who?
that's impressive.
Against
it
who?
was against an ACC opponent. I can't remember if it was Wake
There's a lot of
Forest,
teams in
but
ACC.
it was that's an impressive.
It probably was against Duke.
Hey,
I mean,
numbers and numbers, because every other team that played
explosive.
Wake Forest didn't do it. So you got to give props where props are due.
I mean,
so.
third most rushing yards in history. I mean, Lamar did play 3 years at Louisville.
Honestly,
he didn't do it.
Honestly, the season comes down to.
But these lines, what you guys talked about, the lines.
Defense wins championships. If you
Defense.
can't defend, you can't win.
That run defense, dude.
Well, the problem was like if you pounded Louisville with a power rushing game.
Oh man,
Louisville's defensive line just
fatigue.
They just wilted because
they're
they're
not
too small.
deep enough. Okay, let's say the starting 5 are legit.
Yeah.
They're not deep enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing that
fatigue
Satterfield
sets
has
in.
talked about building depth. He's put in a legit red shirt walk-on package. He's been bringing on 75 walk-ons a year into Louisville. Louisville's fielded 150 kids out there during the spring and summertime to get ready. The reason I like that is because you find a lot of diamonds in the rough and guys
screw that. You don't bump that. No.
You got a lot of diamonds in 5 stars.
Proof positive. You can sit there and say no all you want. When Louisville comes out there and starts next week, they're going to have a former walk-on from Louisville Eastern High School.
I don't care.
Ramon Perrier is going to start the defensive end.
You give me those 4 and 5 star athletes.
I'm not. Okay.
You stack the line with those 4 and 5. Look at Kentucky.
I'm not. Okay, first of all, I did not say that you wanted walk-ons versus
You just said
5-star players. No, what I said is when
75 walk-ons.
when you
We got half a team
when you talk about
That's not
having a
anything I would
walk-on
brag about.
program, Louisville is still recruiting their 25 scholarships. Okay.
So who they looking for? Bobby Boucher?
But the thing is that when you bring a lot of these kids out there, you can find players. You can find, guys like
Will Rabbitine from back in the day.
what's the tight end? I'm sorry,
Marshawn Ford.
Marshawn Ford was a walk-on, was an invited kid from Ballard. Now he's an all-conference tight end. You can find talent anywhere.
You can.
But you can't find enough talent.
Okay. I didn't say. But I didn't say fill the whole team with
It
it.
was so
All I
many
said is that when you,
Morants out
but
there,
when
brother.
you bring kids out there,
He was over there playing.
when you bring them out there, you allow kids the opportunity, and you can find some guys to fill in some of because we're talking about depth. We're not talking about starters.
we
We're
are.
not talking about guys that are going to come in and be the man.
But look, so
So
here's what
I'm just speaking about your depth.
Look, we getting there, but we got to hold that thought into this next segment. I know we got some other things that we're supposed to be talking about, but
Well, we still got a couple minutes. We got the time check is
right. No, I got that. I got that. I appreciate that. But what I'm trying to say to you is,
Yes, here's a slow walk he's trying to get to.
we got some things that we got to get going in the next segment that might not allow us to finish this entire conversation. So we might need to start.
Oh no! This conversation's done because you know what? Next week is going to be all get ready for the game.
Gotcha.
Next week, so we will revisit that because while Louisville is talking about things on the field, guess who's not talking about things on the field? That is your University of Kentucky Wildcats.
Killer Cats, baby.
Killer Cats.
Vito
Killer Cats.
Tisdale,
Criminal Cats.
That's what we do.
The crime cats.
Kentucky player Vito
They
Tisdale
take names.
They got New Jersey numbers coming soon.
just got brought up on charges
Change the
along
colors to
with
black and white
I
with
believe
stripes.
6 of his teammates for
They're gonna be looking like
bum
Clemson.
rushing a party, beating up students, both men and women,
robbing them
at gunpoint,
That's
sticking
football
guns
stuff.
in faces.
That's just football stuff.
Let me ask you.
They all do that.
So you saying everybody?
Coach Mark Stoops says
This
these are just a
SEC
couple of
football stuff.
hiccups, and this is we're going to get out there. We're
is
going to see
hiccups.
all these kids out
A couple of hiccups.
Does this affect
Bro, that's
UKC?
armed robbery. Ain't no hiccup in armed robbery.
No, Tom, let me tell you.
Let me say this.
If you compare yourself to an
That's
Urban Myers in
intentional.
Florida, this ain't
I'm
nothing.
intentionally robbing you if I rob you. There's no
That's all I'm
hiccup.
gonna say.
That is armed robbery at its
If
finest.
you compare
So if
yourself
I
to
walk
Urban
in your
Myers,
house
ain't
right
nothing.
now, Haven,
Here's all
with my
I'm
gun
gonna say.
drawn and say, give me everything you got, it's a hiccup.
That's a hiccup.
Well, listen.
Depends how good you are. If you're a walk-on, no, get off the team. We're going to jail.
Here's my
If you
point.
start, don't worry about that.
if UK has a decent season,
I do not back those comments came out of his mouth.
and,
You know it's true.
and they beat Louisville, get your guns. That's all I'm gonna say. Get your guns.
Time out. Let's be honest. If you were the Baylor, they had like 85 rape cases that they hid for like 4 or 5 years.
And David Koresh.
And nothing really happened to this
Don't
plays
think
at
we forgot
Baylor.
about David
It's
Koresh.
crazy.
So, but
When it's football, people's like, they look the other way.
is this going to affect them on the field this year? Do you think it's going to have any impact with all this negative publicity? and all
It would have to.
If it does,
No,
I
you know what they're
think
gonna do?
Stoops is gone. If they have a terrible season,
Nah.
after all of this leading up to the season, Stoops is out of there.
You know what they'll do?
He had a coach that was arrested.
And guess where he
brought
gonna
up
go
on
to?
charges for beating up his wife.
If he
on camera.
leaves Kentucky, he
He had a
coming to
coach
Louisville.
get arrested for
Louisville.
DUI. You don't think any of this matters, Haven?
You know what's going to happen?
You don't think any of it matters?
You know
Haven
what's-
Harrington,
no.
Main Event Sports Show.
You know what's
Well,
going
I'll
to
tell y'all
happen?
what.
You know, after this break, I'll tell you what's exactly what's going to happen.
Ooh, that's a teaser. Hey, check it out. You're listening to the Main Event Sports Show on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in, y'all.
Be right back.
And welcome back to Main Event Sports Show. Now, before that last segment, I was going to tell you why, with all the players arrested, the coaches beating his wife on camera, You know what? Let's be honest. DUIs. But let's be honest. This is football. And an SEC football at that. I mean,
SMU players.
Urban Meyer had Urban Meyer had players kill people and still played.
True.
Kill people
that's Florida,
and
it's not
still
Kentucky
played.
football, though.
But it's still football and it's still the SEC.
Hey.
I mean,
Stoops did come from Florida State.
I mean,
you
like,
would know a little bit about
thank you.
Tallahassee.
I mean, it's like how many players at LSU been arrested, beating up people? You never hear about that at the end of the season.
How many championships do they have?
There you go.
Les Miles, baby.
But I'm just saying, when it comes to football, the rules are different. Just like basketball, Kentucky, the rules are different. Football players don't get in trouble for the same stuff the average student would get in trouble for. If you're good, if you start.
Yeah, you got a point. If you're not good, Calipari is going to convince you to transfer.
Yeah.
But you need to go home and take care of your dad.
Isn't he sick or something?
You should go to NYU.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but it is. Now, granted, I think some things happen, yes. And what's going to happen is some of these players will be suspended for all the bum games at the beginning of the season.
Or not.
They'll miss like 2 or 3 games when they play against Mississippi Valley State, Southwest, and when they play against What's the Matter You.
The funny thing was the
they'll be
student
suspended.
board, when they reviewed the facts of the case, cleared all the players of the
course they-
charges.
Very interesting.
Of course they did. You know why?
It's like the alphabet.
Because the dean of the school and the football coach sat down, and he said, "Listen,
Oh, it's a free ticket.
I want a bowl win, or you won't have a job again."
And probably because some of the
Very threatening.
students on that student board are in their 70s. And they give to the K Fund. How
On
about
their
that?
70s.
Fair.
Now some of them
I'm
got big.
registered. Hey,
I mean,
Hey,
know
Will,
they
how it works.
counter.
Will,
They have
some of them
if I'm
got
registered for a
some of them
class.
got their own buildings
Right.
on
And
campus.
students. Hey, if I'm registered for a class on paper.
When I say the boy's got his own money, he's got his own money.
Right.
I agree with you. I think it'll get louder if Kentucky doesn't win early. Like I think if
what I'm
UK
telling
starts
you.
to lose early, I think that some of the curtain's going to get pulled.
Especially
back
if you're a
on.
wonder quarterback from Penn State, winds up being like all the other quarterbacks
Oh,
and,
boy.
and can't throw it the damn. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
nah, they
You know-
my man a couple years ago.
Kentucky hasn't had a good quarterback since
kid.
Andre Woodson.
Brian Hartline was pretty good. He was the last
the
one.
black kid, the one that stuck his tongue out right before he went in the end zone.
Oh, we're talking about the wide receiver that ran the ball, never threw the ball.
Yeah. I can't.
Bowden.
Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden,
Yes.
yeah. He threw like 3 passes and had like 900 yards.
That doesn't count because he was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Playing against the best offensive
It counts.
line.
You can't
Maybe in
discard
college
his talent.
football.
It counts.
I mean,
But hey, but we can say all we want
But so,
and
talking
talk
about,
all this jealous talk. But if at the end of the season Kentucky's in a bowl game, even if it's just with 6 wins, hey,
We'll see.
Louisville fans.
it'll be the offensive line that did it.
Hey, it is what
'Cause
they
they got
got.
monsters
One.
on
They
them.
have one.
Oh, they have
How about
a
it?
tough one.
I got an idea. Since the players can get paid now, why don't we start paying them and get some better recruits?
Hey, there's some very interesting name,
That's a
image,
good
and
point, Will.
likeness
Bring Papa John
programs going on
Okay.
around the country.
Nah, we don't want Papa John
Hey,
back.
we want Papa John. I don't give a damn what you say.
Shaq's with a Papa John.
Papa's in the house.
You know that. I'll lose my black card if they're winning. Go, Papa. Go, Papa. Go, Papa. Free pizzas. Hey, look.
Wow.
Man, you know
Well,
what?
listen, you
Whatever.
can
And
have
everybody
it.
else will get
Better
on board
bring them
too.
shacaronis in
You
here.
know that. Everybody else will get on board too. Just like
Shaq
Al
too.
Sharpton
Y'all
and Jesse
fools,
Jackson,
man.
boy, once that checkbook gets open, everything's peace
Well,
now.
I did hear
Let's
that
give him
Cardinal
another
Stadium
chance.
is about to get.
Well, let there be
their
light. He
rights
was
are-
all right.
You know
we'll
that.
see. Like first part of September is what I'm hearing.
What's that?
That the naming rights for the stadium are about to get sold. So it will no longer be Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, but it's going to be something there.
Hey, I don't.
It would
Somebody
be-
with a long checkbook.
I know.
Where's the line, Cardinal Stadium?
Man, hey, Kroger, Cardinal Stadium. I don't care.
What if it was GQ Unlimited Cardinal
Oh,
Stadium?
Who's it, Dino?
No. What's
Hey,
the
look.
man?
Dino's Cardinal Stadium.
The pawn
Indies.
shop. What's
Cardinal-
that? Dude with the pawn, little John.
Oh,
the
Lord.
pawn shop.
Hey,
Wait,
I heard he got
Cardinal
some money.
Stadium.
I heard Little John's got some bread though,
Hey, you
man.
know.
Hey, man, it could be whatever it be. It could be Humana Cardinal Stadium.
Indies Papa John, Indies Cardinal Stadium.
I like Indies myself.
I'll get some of them chicken wings in the game, in the
why
pre-
Man, they gonna call it King's
The throwback.
King's
Andy's
Cardinal
Cardinal
Stadium.
Chicken bones all over the stadium after the game. Oh my God, I can't imagine what they're gonna be calling
Man.
us behind the scenes after the game. Oh,
Not calls a dirty bird, so yeah, whatever.
God.
That's all good.
But you know what? Hey, this
Chicken bones and Newport butts all over the stadium.
Hey, look. Hey, look. Hot sauce stains all in the seat.
All over
It's
the
red.
place.
Ketchup
Them
Ketchup
little-
very well.
Them little bitty dirty, them little white napkins all balled up over the place. Half eaten
Yeah.
dinner rolls.
'Cause you know you get-
wedges. Oh.
Half-eaten
please.
wedges still wrapped up in the paper.
That wax paper.
Hey, you know what?
No,
After the
please.
show's over, I'm gonna play out Indy's Cardinal Stadium, and nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
But, hey,
Man,
but you know
we
what?
don't need that.
We got some big fights coming this weekend.
Welcome to the press box.
Big
It's like
fights.
hot wings. So that you get off the elevator.
Like, I'm like, who wants some of this peach cobbler over
You know
there?
that them games will be off the chain though.
Of course, it was Jack.
Oh my God.
And
Brown roll bags left
Hey.
behind. People coming back arguing with security. I left my bag in there. I can't leave without it.
Hey, Kenny Klein, if you're watching this right now, I do apologize. I'm just doing jump.
Empty Hennessy bottles on the
All
elevator.
over the place.
Blunt guts everywhere.
This is what happens when the show completely
when it goes off the rails, man.
off the rails.
It goes off the, before we go
I'm
too
just
far
saying.
rails,
Oh, God.
let me bring it back.
wow.
Indy's Cardinal Stadium.
I got my man Devin on the line right
Oh,
now, so
my
we can
God.
talk a little UFC.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Big fights this weekend, here locally, here in Vegas.
What's going on, Devin?
Oh no,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we
Yes.
got you.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing really good, Dev. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Just been out working. It's been hot, and finally back in the house, ready for a show.
Yeah, there we go. So Devin, man, for those who don't know, Devin, if you go to our website, maineventsports101.com, and you look at all the blogs, you see all those UFC blogs where he breaks down every single fight, all the fighters, background, history, who's going to win and why. That's the man, Devin Hall, we have on the line right now. Devin, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Ready for these fights.
Man, so tell us, man, which fight are you most interested in seeing this weekend and why?
Well, I'm gonna do the cliche answer. The main event.
I mean, it's just two of the best strikers that we have in the UFC right now. It's two featherweights.
Edson Barboza from Brazil.
And then Giga Chikadze, the wild name from the Republic of Georgia. And they're two of the guys that just unreal kicks. Barboza's known for his spinning heel kicks, flying knees. Hell, last fight he fought Shane Burgos. He had little cuts all over his shins just from kicking him so hard. And Giga Chikadze has his own kick called the Giga kick. The body kick, he has 5 TKOs from just kicking a guy right in the perfect spot in the side. And they just fall over. I mean, this is two amazing strikers. There's going to be no ground and pound, no wrestling or nothing like that. It's just going to be two guys swinging.
Man, it sounds like a Dragon Ball Z movie, the Giga Kick.
Man.
Hey, you talking, that Giga kick is dangerous. I've seen him where he kicks you right here in your rib, and dude just fall like it. Pow! It'd be over with.
Rough.
He couldn't even get up. He just, because he knocks the wind out you.
Wow.
The man has one of the strongest feet games in UFC. His feet game, he would, man, I'm telling you, he's looked like Bruce Lee.
His feet game don't stink.
Call him Ninja for a reason.
Wow. Well, Devin, I have a quick question for you in relation to how boxing has now is now trending back to the forefront of popularity, where it had kind of lost a lot of its fan base and a lot of the market share, and that in those type of combat sports. Do you feel as though with boxing now regaining so much popularity that it is affecting the fan base and the popularity of UFC and MMA as a whole?
I really don't think so. I think a lot of UFC fans that I mingle with on Twitter and stuff, they appreciate boxing itself, especially the top guys, like, of course, like Fury, Wilder, Terrence Crawford, all the guys like that. They appreciate them. I do see more boxing fans, like pure boxing fans, kind of like downgrade UFC, like the mixed martial arts aspect of like the fighting game. But I think the fans are starting to kind of come together. But I think UFC is just going to continue to rise. boxing will always have a massive fan base. Boxing's been around for such a long time, you know. Everybody's going to love boxing. But just the aspects that MMA and the UFC brings with all the different, like Taekwondo, they have like Jiu-Jitsu, the wrestling aspects, all that come together in one ring. Plus, they have only 12 champions. There's 3 women's division, or 8 men's divisions, and now there's only 3 women's divisions, so that's 11. One of them got disbanded because Amanda Nunes is the GOAT, and she beat everybody in the top 10. So, yeah, there's no reason to have a or
Man, you a bad man with Jam. It's like, man, we're going to cut this division off.
Right.
It's yours.
It's over.
Keep the belt, whatever. Fight the men.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
no,
you
so,
can't beat her, no reason to keep going.
right. No, I agree. Because, but for a while there, I mean, I sincerely felt like the UFC was all the rage, and boxing had really, really lost its grounding until Deontay Wilder started to gain a lot of recognition. Even after he, was on a nice win streak, he hadn't brought back the lay fans to boxing.
Right.
And it was only occasional fights, particularly Floyd Mayweather, that would bring the average fans that are not really into the sport back. Which, as we were talking about early in an earlier segment, that's where the true money comes from, are the lay fans who get on board. But UFC was just the opposite, where everybody was just so in the UFC. And that's kind of like where my question comes from, is in terms of boxing now becoming popular again. Do you think it's affecting UFC in terms of just the lay fans, that they've all turned back to boxing at this point?
Well, I mean, I feel like there could be a chance that the UFC could take a toll, just because of how big boxing has always been, and with, of course, like, I don't know exactly when the Fury-Wilder fight is, but I know whenever that fight comes on, whatever fight UFC has that weekend, the Fury-Wilder fight is probably just going to like blow that out of proportion for views, Like,
Gotcha.
the big names in boxing, for sure, will bring in more views than, of course, like the big UFC events, unless it's Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor will bring in millions,
Right.
Oh, yeah,
over
yeah.
a million every time, of course.
Well, Devin, we hope that we can keep you on the other side of this break. We're going to take a quick break to pay the bills, and we're going to continue with you on the other side.
All right, sounds good.
And welcome back to Main Event Sports Show. Online right now, we have Devin Hall, our personal writer, who covers all the UFC, all the fighting for us, Main Event Kombat style. He's on the line. We'll still discuss a little UFC come this weekend, because you already mentioned the main event being like the big fight, but give us some of those undercards that we should be looking at.
Well, the special thing about this fight night card is that the co-main event and the one right before the co-main event, the third fight on the card, are both the finales of the middleweight and the
bantamweight of the Return of the Ultimate Fighter. For the bantamweight, you got Ricky Tercios. I believe that's how you say his name. Not for sure, but he's fighting Brady Hassan. Both of them, the Ricky Tercios became the fan favorite from what I've read on Twitter.
No!
Can,
There we go. He's back.
Minor technical difficulties.
Nah.
folks.
All right, we'll get back to Devin a little bit. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties there, bringing them on
it's
in.
frozen. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Oh, I got
there you go.
You're back.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I froze for a second. All right. But did you hear any of the things I was saying before that?
And no.
All right. Well, the co-main and the third fight on the main card are the finales of the Ultimate Fighter, of the return this season. You got the Bentos and Brady Hassan. In the middleweights, you got Brian Battle. And it was supposed to be Trayshawn Gore, but sadly, he had a meniscus injury. So the guy he knocked out in the semifinals, Gilbert Urbina, is taking his spot. So the guy who got knocked out made the finale. I mean, it's kind of bad, it's really bad luck for Gore himself. But Urbina is a very solid fighter himself, but he's going to be outclassed, I believe, by Brian Battle. Brian Battle came in His groundwork, his wrestling, is top notch. 90 pounds great. Got a unanimous decision win in the first round. Came in the second in the semifinals. Got a easy submission over Andre Petrowski, who's also fighting on the fight card against somebody. I think his name was Michael Gilmore.
Okay.
They're going to be fighting. There's just kind of like showcasing the new talent that the new Ultimate Fighter this season is going to be bringing into this year.
Nice.
The Ricky Tercios, what I was saying about him before everything got cut off for me, he's one of them brawlers. He'll invite you to the ring, scream in your face, tempt you to come punch him in the face just so he can get to you and brawl you right in the middle of the octagon. But high stand, I believe he's going to do the upset because the first two fights of the season that he did fight and win, he had a partially torn meniscus. He had a similar injury to what happened to Gore. And, I mean, he came out on top on both of them, had a TKO in the semifinals, and now a fully healthy high stand, I believe, is going to pull off the upset.
So on all of you said it's what, 3 main events?
Well,
2 codes.
the main event is the
co-main
Barboza Chikadze, but the other two before that are the finales of the Ultimate
The
Fighter.
finales of the Ultimate Fighter. So give us your picks of the 2 finales of the Ultimate Fighter and the main event, and put your name on it. Tell us what you think before we let you go.
All right, so I'm going to stick with the upset pick. I believe high stand will beat Tercios, and I'd say a unanimous decision type. I don't think it'll go. Both of them are super tough brawlers, so I don't think either of them will get knocked out. But I think high stand will pull off the upset. Since Urbina had to step in late, since Gore had the meniscus injury, I think battle will be too much. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a submission with him getting on the ground, but I think it's an easy win for battle. If you're making bets, put your money on battle. That's mine for sure for the week. And then for the main event, now this one's easily the toughest because I think it's going to be fight of the night. Maybe we could get the KO of the night with how I said they're both tremendous strikers. But I think I'm going to have to take Giga Chikadze just because he's a little younger than Barboza. Barboza was a lightweight. This is his 4th fight in featherweight. I think he's still getting a feel for the lighter people, like being lighter on his feet. I think he'll be quick and stuff, but the Giga kick, man.
Nice. And
You get a kick named after yourself, you're going to...
there it is.
Bad man.
And there you have it, folks. We have Devin in with us, giving us his take on the upcoming UFC fights this weekend and giving us his picks. Devin, we appreciate you coming on with us. We need to get you back on soon so we can talk some more UFC. And then compare your picks to the outcome, man. If you do pretty good, man, I might need to get some lottery numbers from you.
Hey, sounds good, but I appreciate y'all letting me be on the show today.
No problem at all, man. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, I'm going.
All right.
So there you have it. It's time to start fighting. Whoa.
Listen, speaking of fights,
Got some fights this weekend.
speaking of fights, let's talk about how Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao
We love Pacquiao.
got his face packed in
Okay,
during the UGOS fight.
Okay, but tell me another soon-to-be presidential candidate that could fight their ass off like Pacquiao did. You tell me
Barack
that.
Obama,
No.
Dude,
because that's who he looked like out there.
Manny, nah, dude, Pacquiao. Okay, first of all, go ahead and tell him, Rock, get him.
Pac-Man came into this fight game. He wasn't expected to be a great. Dude loves to fight. He made himself
Here we
into
go
a
with
champion.
another one, giving us
He
the
won
Filipino history of a guy that came
at
out
8
the mud.
different levels. He's one of the most accomplished fighters of his generation. He loves to fight. He went out there and fight. I don't even know if people thought he was going to win, but dude loves to fight. So I look at it like this. He wanted to get out there and get his face punched in. If that's what that man loves to do, let that man live.
You know, Rashawn, listen, let me tell you something. He was going to go against one of the best boxers in the game today in Earl Spence.
The guy who Floyd Mayweather's been ducking for the past decade.
Yeah, 11 years. Let's keep that count together. For the last 11 years, he been ducking Earl Spence. Now, let's keep it real. You guys was the guy who went in there against Earl Spence and got his head punched in. So if you guys went out there and did that to Manny Pacquiao, hold on.
It don't always work like that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on.
I mean, it's easy to say that.
He was trained. Manny Pacquiao was training to go in with that head hunting style that he was fighting against you guys with, If he had done that against Earl Spence, he'd have met the canvas.
So it's easy to
He
say
would
that,
have met
but
the
we-
canvas.
Too many times, far too many times.
Pacquiao he's got a tough jaw, man. I mean,
We've just
he's
seen
he's
where,
tough.
like Haven said, styles make a difference.
Didn't you
It's
watch
so
Rocky
easy to say,
Balboa?
if A can beat B and B beats C, then A can beat C. That's not the way it always works out.
Only man.
Oftentimes it doesn't work out.
And he's
You know-
an engineer, so he should know.
But let me ask you, did anybody think
What that got to
Pacquiao
do
was
with
gonna be
anything?
Errol Spence?
No. Nobody thought Pacquiao was going to be Earl Spence. Except for Pacquiao.
I thought Pacquiao shouldn't even sign the contract.
I mean, it's money.
Yeah.
It's money, and he loves to fight.
And he's also old. He should retire.
Well, he's gone now.
Well, I felt bad for his wife, man. That was rough watching her sitting there. She couldn't stand it. I'm like, man, this woman's done been through enough, man. You're a politician now. Go on, throw your hat in the ring for the president. You
I
know you're
agree.
gonna win
I
the
mean-
president. I know a fight he's gonna win. That presidential race over in the Philippines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he
So,
can
go
have
ahead,
he
man,
can have
call
that.
him.
I mean, I
man.
definitely didn't.
He
I have
shoulda
not
just-
supported Manny.
He
Fight
should
for
have
the
just
last
stayed
5,
where he
6
was.
years.
He should have stayed a
But
politician,
fight, man.
left it alone, went on and got his Filipino people together, did what he had to do and become.
But he's
I
done
don't know.
both. He's done that.
I mean,
too.
Yes, he's done
honestly,
both.
though, man. Like,
He's doing
But
both.
what I'm saying is this:
I'm saying your wife.
his
can have
time
it.
has come and gone in his boxing thing.
but here's the thing.
I
Once
feel the
you're
same
boxing-
way about Floyd Mayweather. He's taking these petty anti-fights. Your time
Floyd's
has come
taking
and
money
gone.
Grabs.
No,
Floyd
he's
Yes.
stealing money. That's what
That's
he's doing.
all he doing.
He's stealing money.
and I don't
But
blame him.
Pacquiao's actually trying to fight. Floyd's just stealing at this point. But anyway, you know
Floyd
what?
been stealing for the last 10 years.
No, but here's the
John,
thing, though.
Jake Paul. That ain't no
Bum.
fight.
No, not at all. But here's,
not a YouTuber.
Yeah, but the thing about Pacquiao is this.
And made bank though.
50
Yeah.
Once you're
Ridiculous.
Ain't no real fight.
Once you're a fight like Pacquiao, you've
heard it
been
was
fighting
100
as long as Pacquiao's been fighting.
I
It's
know
hard to give it up.
Ridiculous.
It's hard, like Ali.
I get all
Look at
that.
Ali should have given
But
up the
after
reins
that-
2
after
years
that
before
beat
got
down he
knocked
took-
out by Larry Holmes.
After
But
that
you can't
beat
give it
down
up.
he took, I feel like he should just
He would
stay
still fight.
in the Philippines.
I think George
He will
Foreman
still
would've been a
fight.
better example.
Hey, when I watched my boy, the
I mean,
executioner, what's his
The
name?
ring retires.
What's
the
his
ring
name?
retires most
Executioner.
fighters.
The dark skinned cat, bald head.
Oh, the alien. I need to talk about that from
um,
Philadelphia.
I can't think of his name, but he fought. That man fought.
he was like 55
he was
years old
53 or 54.
and still beating people.
How old was George Foreman?
And got his last
60.
fight, he got knocked through the ropes
60.
onto the ground. You know, it was going to take for him to get
I know who you
absolutely
talking about. I can't
embarrassed.
think of
I
his
can't think of his
name
name. I know his nickname was Executioner. I just cannot think of his actual name. It's escaping.
Bernard
me. But
Hopkins.
These
Bernard
guys,
Hopkins.
Bernard
B.
Hopkins.
Hop.
Thank you. Like sometimes you just have guys that just love to fight.
Then the ring
They
retires
gonna
you.
fight. Yeah, I mean they gonna fight till they literally
The
can't
ring,
fight, and
the
somebody
field,
won't
the
give him a
court.
license.
Yeah, whatever sport you play, if you reach the highest level of that sport,
Floyd's a
likely,
businessman.
The sport is going to
Ex-
retire
Brett
you.
Favre.
Listen, it doesn't matter to me.
Ali,
I feel like when you
Favre,
know your
Melissa's
time has
wrong.
come,
Very long.
They never
ride
think
on
their
off
time
into
is
the
coming.
sunset.
Only like Jim Brown and Floyd Mayweather, the only 2 cats that got out like
They keep on fooling
top.
around, they're going to be Apollo Creed, I'm telling you.
That's it. The only 2 guys that got on top.
I mean,
Jim
George
Brown,
Foreman came back after
Floyd
being
Mayweather.
retired for how long?
That's because he was
Knocked out-
trying to promote
knocked out
them
Michael
grills.
Man, first of all, George Foreman has hands the size of his table.
George
Has
was trying to
power for
promote.
days.
He was trying to
But
promote
still,
his
people,
grills,
he
and
came
he's
back
still
at like
strong.
49
And
or
still
50,
won because
and-
we got that kind of power. You can do that.
Yeah, I mean, but my point
His whole
being is
defense
that
was this.
these guys that always fight, even old fighters, when you talk about them guys still think they could get out there and give you one more good round.
Well, I tell you what, if you don't believe it, I bet you if Tyson and Holyfield 3 comes around, it's probably going to set a pay-per-view record.
Oh, I'm
I would
watching
agree with
that.
And you can say what you want to
I'm watching
about
that.
these old fighters, but I was more
Hey,
interested
look.
in watching that Tyson fight earlier this year than I was in watching this Pacquiao
Hey,
fight.
hey,
And
hey,
then
look.
I'm going to be in watching the Tyson and Wilder fight too.
Hey, Will.
Because can't neither Tyson or Wilder fight. And I've been telling people that when I watch Tyson Wilder, especially that Tyson Fury, the Fury Wilder fight 1, I said this is maybe the worst display of boxing I have ever seen.
Oh wow.
Hey,
It was
so
awful.
we're in our last minute, so I had to give a big shout out. Former Louisville quarterback Teddy Bridgewater named the starter for
Yes,
the Denver
indeed.
Broncos. I hate the Denver Broncos,
I
but I
personally
love me
think
some Teddy.
Teddy Bridgewater
H2O.
is the smartest, and when I say smart, I mean the most intelligent, book smarts
Hey.
quarterback to ever take.
Don't
a
forget,
step.
the
Hey,
Ravens
to
go to
ever-
That's
Denver.
right. That's right.
The Ravens go to Denver. so you get
Second
to see
week in
Lamar.
October, y'all.
Bridgewater.
Lamar versus Teddy. It's going down.
Yeah, watch it not
ever
be on
take
television
a
locally.
snap. I could ever take a snap. That boy is, he's a
Might not be
super
on
intelligent.
television locally, but thank God for Fire Stick.
No, it will be.
Yes,
It will.
sir.
It'll be on TV because they'll be like the ratings in Louisville will just be unreal. Watch that fight, unreal.
Can't wait.
And you know
said
what?
fight.
A fight. It will be a fight. The Ravens. That's how Ravens play in the mud, dirty, rough. Love it.
All day, every day.
There you go. But hey, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this week's show. We'll be back next Thursday, 7 p.m., live, Plug Network. Watch us, tune in, and for all the articles, to become a patron, support the show, to buy the great merch like I'm wearing right now, go to maineventsports101.com and like in every show without any struggle.
There is no progress.
Stay plugged
Peace.
in. Peace.
I still see Alabama.